All right, Sharon, do you want to kick off?
Kicking off. So, Bali. We'll talk about Bali. I'll go through it because the people that can watch it after this, Bali is a 6 night, 7 day event. I don't think any of you people have been to Bali, and the trip's up. It's at a great price point. We stay at the sort of hello. Someone's just logged on.
Where?
Uh, is that Amanda? Don't know. A lovely face just came to the screen.
Right, yeah, keep going, Shaz.
Bali, haven't even got a brochure in front of me. We stay at the Sanua Hotel Resort. It's actually a really beautiful resort. The swimming pool's in the middle, and it just goes the whole way through the complex. It's got three restaurants, bar, two bars, uh, spa. What else? It's just got everything in the hotel. Gymnasium. Every day, your breakfast is provided. When we get there on the first night, we're going to have a welcome dinner. We get there in the afternoon, and then we have a welcome dinner on that night. And then the next day, you're going on a double dive out at Nusa Pendita. Now, the dive operators that we've got that came highly recommended to us from George's connections in his diving experience and business world, but they come highly recommended. And what this particular dive operator are not uh, from from Bali. They've moved to Bali and they've been running this operation for I think over 25 years now. What they do is they choose that Nusa Pendita has about 25 locations and it's off the shore in a boat. And they choose the location for the dive the night before because they want to give us Hollywood under the sea. Hi, Kazza. They want to give us Hollywood under the sea, so that's why they choose it. Look, a lot of operators in Bali, they if you're not tuned in, you can just sort of get taken out in conditions that aren't so great. But George is is very firm on making sure that the people that come on our trips get the right experience. So Bali, you'll go out on the second day again to Nusa Pendita. And then we have a down day. You have an option to book with the dive shop to do some other dives if you want to. They'll have other dives on your day off. People like doing tours. People get up to all sorts of shenanigans in Bali. We know the area really well and it's a load of fun. There's markets, there's rice paddock tours up at Ubed. You can do all sorts of things on your down day. The next day, we are doing, is it the US Liberty Wreck Taliban, George?
Chilambin, and it's the US, I think it's called the Liberty Wreck, yeah. And can I just
Yeah,
explain?
go,
Yeah, let's just
please.
let's go back a step. On day one of diving, the dive shop brings coaches to our hotel and takes us just 5 minutes down the road to their dive facility. They gear you up. They provide all the gear. So when we do trips, I asked Sharon that my wish is that the dive shops provide the gear free of charge for us. So we're not lugging gear all around the world. I don't want to be doing that. Okay. Some people do take their own gear. I get it. But the gear was quite good condition. And got Sherry Strutton popping in. Say hello. And anyway, so on the first day, they get your gear right. They break us up into groups. Then they drive us down to the beach and they put us on some boats. And on that first dive, we go to Manta Point. And I've been throwing videos up on Facebook showing what day one looked like. And there's mantas everywhere, manta shrimps, mantas, really, really high density mantas. So that's a good day of diving. They do meals on the boat, substantial, not like what we're familiar with here in Australia. And it's actually like a Tupperware with, protein and salads and dips and cold drink, so they really look after you. I'm
George,
right.
are the snorkel and dives in the same locations on those days?
Yeah, so on
Yeah.
that first day, the snorkelers come out with us, but they're on a different boat. And in some of my videos, you'll see that we're underwater and there's all these mantas around. And if you look above, you can see all those snorkelers above, and they're seeing almost the same. Okay. There are some locations where we go where the snorkelers go to totally different destinations during the week. So that's day one. Day two, we do some more diving in that area. And the day that we go up to the Chilamban to the wreck, it's a 2.5 hour drive.
It's beautiful.
Now, I've got to be honest with you, it's really interesting drive because you're going through rice paddies, rice fields, all these little villages. It's really good scenery on the way up. So that's something really cool. Now, the wreck is a beach. It's actually a beach entry, and we get delivered to a dive facility there. Once again, they've got tanks there. We bring our gear up that the dive shop's given us. They buddy us up and they take us diving. 2 dives there. When you come back, there's a big sheltered area and it will be hot on that day. And then they feed you a traditional meal on the plate. You've got a few choices, watermelon juice and all these other really interesting things. And then traditionally over in Bali, they get watermelons and they cut them and they place them on the table. So you're just munching away at watermelons. So double dive there, journey back to the hotel. And then we've got
Double dive, double snorkel.
double dive. And now on the free day, Sharon's right. You can actually book extra dives at the dive shop. But what I'm going to do this year is I missed out because some of our other travelers last year, they went to it was some beach bar. You pay an entry fee and you go in. There's swimming pools and water and bars, and you just. I'm going to spend the morning there, and I'm going to go sightseeing for the rest of the day. So I'm going to just do it a bit differently. Sharon, back to you for the last 2 days of diving.
Talabam's the third dive day.
Yep.
Nusa Pendia, and you, the location where we go out, it's 25 locations they choose from. So you're not going to the same place. They're taking you all around. It's a very bit large area. So that you go out in the boat and then we do the shuttle up to the Talabam. So I think there's about 8 dives all up, an option of a night dive on the Wednesday night on the day off. And then on the last day, we have another day off, as the divers can't fly for 24 hours. So, of course, there are down days on all of our trips, and there's just so much to do. The nightlife there is incredible. We're about a 10-minute walk. We're about a 2-minute walk from Sanua Beach, where all the local markets are and shops and restaurants. If you just keep walking up that pathway, you've got about a 10-minute walk, and you're in. It is Sanua Beach. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Sanua Beach. And there are beautiful little restaurants in the sand. You're actually sitting in the sand, and you can get your cocktail in a coconut, and there's great markets and great. It's just incredible atmosphere in Bali. I'm actually really excited to go back. The resort we're staying at, the food's incredible, the pool bar's amazing, the prices are amazing. You can have a main meal for $10 and you can have it delivered to your room. So it's incredible. So your breakfasts are provided for, your lunches on the boat, on the days we're on the boat, provided for. There's a main meal provided for. That's about all that we sort of want to provide for you because there's so much to do and go in Bali at night, and we don't leave you. We say, hey, come with us, and we're going to be meeting in the foyer at 6:30. We're going to walk up to Sanua Beach. Come with us, and we walk up, and quite a few of them stagger home. Well, not stagger, they trot home. Yeah, well, there's some pictures of the resort. That's just the pool is massive. That's just one part of the pool. That was George there. There we go. There's George. Uh, Great meals.
Now listen, the breakfast buffet is quite extraordinary.
Yeah.
Like there was pasta there for breakfast. All the hot eggs and bacons and sausages and sweets and pretty incredible spread. And the hotel's in incredible shape. The balconies in the room that we were staying in, they're like not made of fabricated steel. They're made of stone, carved stone.
Yeah.
It's a really splendid resort. Sharon's made a really good choice in the place.
Oh, I love the place. The staff are incredible. Just
Yeah.
adore them. Adore the nature of their service and everything. Oh, hello.
Oh, yeah.
Love. That pool's so extensive. That's just outside the pool bar. So George and myself would sit down for a meal and people would just plonk themselves next to us. And there's Peter and Brucey are going again this year because it was such a great trip. The price range, I think, for basic and if you want, is Kerry Dobson. If you want to bring your partner and they don't dive, the basic is like 1600, I think. The snorkel's 2250 and the dive is I think 2450 on the brochure. That's off the top of my head. So that's a really great trip. That includes air, meals, accommodation, everything. Shuttles, you name it, everything, except for your cocktails and meals on the nights down at Sanua Beach. So beautiful trip. Warm, lovely at night.
And what we do is we set up a messenger group, and so you can do whatever you want at nights. Just let me know where you're going, so in case I've got to call the police looking for you in the morning, that's all. And but we've had no problems with anyone getting in trouble with the law or arrested, have we, Sharon?
Not that I'm aware of, no. I
No,
usually do a head count at breakfast.
no food
Where's
sickness.
where are they?
Touch wood, no food sickness, no barley belly, um, because the hotel, the meals are quite extraordinary
Yeah,
there.
the first night we have a welcome dinner at the hotel. It's really lovely, and then the second night we take everybody down to the Sanua Beach to let them be familiarized with the place, and then after that we say go sick, do what you want. So it's not a regimented trip. It's just we'll guide you, and if you want to keep hanging out with us and you're coming solo, we're always available on the nights to escort you with what you want to do. Kuta's not far away. Dennis Spa, they're probably 20 minutes in a cab. Cabs are cheap. You can get a little download an app, and a cab's like $5 to $3 Australian anywhere. Everything's cheap. Uh, like 7-Elevens and shops just over the road. Everything's central. You can buy water for your room. Yeah, it's great. The rooms are quite spacious. It's just a beautiful trip. I'm going to keep putting this trip on. I'm going to call it one of my signature trips because it's seamless, easy, wonderful, fun. And the dive shop are amazing. The people there that own the dive shop are amazing. So they're great to deal with. Okay,
Hang
that's Bali.
on a sec. Margot Bart is asking how long does it take to get to the dive shop and the dive location? So the dive shop's what, five,
Five
10 minutes away?
minutes. They
Yep.
pick you up. It's a 5 minute drive.
Yep. So on the first day, they take you to the dive shop, 10 minutes away, gear you up, and then another 5 minutes away to the beach. And then the snorkel and dive spots are probably maybe 20 minutes or half hour on the boat. Okay. But on the
About an hour on the boat. Yeah,
second day, you don't have to go back to the dive shop. We go zip straight to the beach.
because
Or,
they've got your gear.
yeah. So that answers your question, Margot. Sharon, is there anything else?
Yeah, the first day they fit you up, Margot, measure you up, put you in the wetsuit and get all your gear ready, and they have that for you for the rest of the trip.
I was just
Your
wondering
gear.
how long the boat trip out.
About
Yeah,
an hour. It's
20
very
minutes, half an
scenic.
hour.
It's extremely scenic. About
Not,
an hour out.
not only is it scenic, but there's a lot to see, Sharon.
Oh, I gotta love it.
Okay.
Okay, so what else are we doing? Well, we've got the normal like local trips. We're going to be doing Tangalooma. George is working on a lot of local areas to go to. We're actually really uh, welcoming to people that have any suggestions of where they want to go and say, Sharon, can you please look at this area? Someone recently asked me a location to research, and the cost wise was just it was too much. To try and cost it in for people. If you're going to go onto a local island or to a local place and you want to pay $4,500, I probably most likely will never put a trip up like that for the group. It's got to be affordable for everybody so everybody can benefit from being able to go to the trip. So George will have local trips. We're going to put weekend trips away. We're going to do, what are some destinations
Can I
north
just
or
talk
south?
about it? Yeah, we've got Southwest Rocks coming up. So if you know about Southwest Rocks, the Atkinsons, have you dived there? Southwest Rocks?
No.
No,
Rightio, you'll have to join us up there.
like to.
Hey?
I'd like to.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. It's um, South Southwest Rocks is about an hour south of Coffs Harbour, and beautiful dive shop. Everyone dives on nitrox.
It's a really pretty village too.
Yeah, it's a pretty village. Everyone dives. Sharon's checked out every retail shop there, and there's 3 pubs that we can eat at. Everyone's got nitrox, good boats. We go out for half an hour. We get to the rock, and then we dive down 18 meters. There's grey nurse sharks down below. Then you go into the cave, and it's sort of like that round, and you go through it for about 50 or 60 meters up vertical, and you come out through to the aquarium. Just absolutely stunning. I reckon it's a world-class dive site, not being promoted properly. Sultry Islands, and we're going to also get down to
What was below Forster that you wanted to go to?
Seal Rocks. Margot Barter went there. Did you go there, Margot? Seal Rocks. No, okay. So a lot of exciting
No,
things.
I went to Jarvis Bay.
Right.
Yeah.
We want to do the
That
seals.
looked great.
We did a trip 2 years ago to the seals, and that was extraordinary. Montague Island, absolutely brilliant. So that was quite enjoyable. Sultry Islands coming up. Sharon and I went and spoke to Mike at Jetty Dive. And further north, we want to go to Wolf Rock. I've had a couple of experiences there, none of them being real good viz, but we're going to take you up there. And then HMAS to Brook, ex-HMAS to Brook. Great dive.
You're checking out a boat out of Mooloolaba?
Oh, yeah, we've got a brand new operator out of Mooloolaba, and we'll be using him to take us out to HMAS Brisbane, and we'll be doing some dives at some great snorkeling dive spots. So I'll be going up in the next 7 days to get footage of the snorkel spots up there. All right, and Harvey Bay, then Sharon's looking at further north at...
I'm looking at Early Beach actually, and if it's not this year, it'll be Early Beach in the whaling season. And so when you go on a liveaboard, what's really important that if you want to take 36 or 38 people on a liveaboard, that the liveaboard is the configuration of that liveaboard will suit 36 souls that are going to be hanging out together continually. So I'm going to hop on a plane and go up to Airlie. And if it's not a liveaboard, there is one there I'm going to have a look at. I'm going to look at day trips out of Airlie and accommodation and the Whit Sundays.
Well,
And
you
there's
going
an island there too that's
you're
near.
going on your own?
Yeah, I might go on my own, Georgie. What's the island off Airlie? There's an island off
Early
Airlie.
Beach, isn't it Hook Island or something?
Yeah, something. There's a beautiful island there. There's a lot off Airlie. We've got a mate up there that's.
So when Sharon and I went there, we did that Thundercat ride, remember? And
Yeah.
we snorkeled Hook Island, and the biologists are saying that that's been a reef that has very, very quickly regenerated with respect to the corals. So we need to check that out, Sharon, and make sure that
Yep.
that's the case.
Yep. So I'm just writing all of these things down that Georgia mentioning here. So Airlie Beach. People are asking regards Townsville. And what's off Townsville? Is that Yongala?
Yongala, and as you all know, it's the most cancelled dive trip out. So very
Rightio.
risky.
So that's a bit of a worry for us.
We can do it, but it means that you may end up going there.
Lady Elliot. Thanks, Margot.
Lady
Yes, we
Elliot.
will look at Lady Elliot. We have done it before.
Lady Musgrave.
And is that
Lady
Musgrave Island?
yeah, at a Bundy. No. And then we've got the Museum of Modern Art outside of Townsville. Now, look, I've done that probably 3 times. That's worthwhile. And but once again, I say with Yongala, what I did when I was doing my internship at Kira Dive, I took a group of divers up and we camped at the Backpackers in Townsville. for a few days, and we waited for the dive shop to call us and say, right, the weather's good. And then we raced down to the beach down the road. What's the name of it? Air, down at Air. And we went out to the Yongala. And it was, look, the Yongala is quite a good dive. The vessel's actually now sort of twisted a bit. It's collapsing a bit. So I really need to get you guys up there before maybe it falls apart. That's my concern, okay?
Other local trips offshore, I'm looking at Fiji. I'm looking at Vanuatu. Vanuatu, George has been. He's done a famil over there, but he just didn't feel it was quite ready. George, what were your thoughts on Vanuatu?
Oh, look, they were delivering food to the kitchen in wheelbarrows, and there was a shortage of supply chain with respect to vegetables. You'd order a pizza and there'd be stuff missing, and it was just, Sharon, wait on Vanuatu is my gut feel.
Yeah, I've got someone on the ground. Thanks, Kaza. I've got someone on the ground, and that I can talk to that's actually living there now. That's really given us the good lowdown on what's actually going on over there, and that's really important because Vanuatu is an unknown territory, and yeah, we've got to have, when George and myself put a trip on, we want to have confidence in the airlines, the accommodation, and what you're going to see underwater is really important because you're paying for your diving or snorkeling experience. Food, cultural experiences are really important to pull in to whatever country. And Fiji offers such incredible cultural experiences. Where Fiji, I am looking at it at like an island experience. So you're on an island where you can just get in and just go straight in the water there. I know Catherine Taylor's been to Fiji and knows it pretty well. Yeah, Catherine? Yeah, good. I'll have a chat to you about all that. So when we put a trip on, that's a lot of homework for me. Now, Lord Howe Island, George, do you know much about Lord Howe Island?
Not really. We need to investigate that. Catherine, you said liveaboard to Yongala. Which vessel was that?
I'm not quite sure, but that's been mentioned to me a few times.
Yeah.
The liveaboard out of the Yongala. So that might be a.
I did a liveaboard, and it was the vessel was quite wasn't what I'd take you guys on. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It might not be. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's really important for us.
Physically trialed it, and I wanted to throw up when I saw my bedroom quarters and the stained pillows. I'm not taking you guys there at this stage.
Unless it's been upgraded, you never know your luck.
No,
hello, new person there in the corner. So what's next is Greece. So I'm costing in Greece. George and myself have just done 4.5 weeks last August, September in Greece. George is Greek, and he's a very fluent in speaking Greek. And I've lived in Greece, and so we really understand Greece.
We know how to harass the locals.
We know how to. And my ex was Greek. Sorry, George. George is Greek. You can edit that. And so we had an incredible 4.5 weeks in Greece. It was phenomenal. It was goosebump experience. We were in a bubble, and it was just it was amazing. So with the Greece, I'm actually costing it in now for this September. It'll be mid-September onwards. It's about weather factor because I don't want to take you in August. It's scorching and it just cools that little bit down in September. Margot, that's probably why your daughter's getting married in September. She would have researched that. So my brain's gone blank. Oh, it's the Athens school holidays finish there in September as well. And you don't want to be there when the Athens school holidays were on. We hit the Athens school holidays, but we just sort of managed our way around it because we knew where to go and what to do. So Athens we would arrive in Athens and have a night at a hotel there. It'll be a really decent hotel in Athens. Athens, I'm absolutely in love with. And if you go to Athens, you need to go with someone that's Greek or lives there or knows
We
the place.
will show you how to appreciate Athens, and
Oh man,
yeah,
it's sensational.
we'll keep you
It's
safe.
sensational.
We'll eat good food. We'll drink great alcohol, and we'll keep you safe. Monastiraki, Syntagma Square, the Acropolis. We're going to see it all. Can I
It's
just
just incredible. It's incredible. Monastiraki Square is there's a monastery there. It's very ancient, and then there's a square around it. And you go there, and especially at night, say just before dusk, you go there and it's hustle and bustle, and down that side you've got little side streets with no traffic, and that's all the flea markets. And then up this side, you've got other streets with markets and tavernas. You can walk up steps and there's tavernas all the way up that lead you up to the Acropolis. It's incredible. But you're in Monastiraki, it's nighttime, the subway at the train station's there. Um, the tavernas, I walked filming the area and I just got grabbed by one of the restaurant owners and he spun me around and they were playing the bouzouki and singing and I'm dancing with these guys and I make my way back to George. But you stand there and you just look up with all the bustle that's around you and it you look up and there's the Acropolis and it's just incredible. It's like goosebumps. It's yeah, it's amazing. So Athens is incredible. If we go to Athens, I've made sure that we have 2 down days there. And so we can show you the cultural experience of being in Athens. The street art is amazing. The people are amazing. The taverna that we want to take you to, right at the back of the monastery, you just sit there and you watch these guys and they just bring plates of food out and you just order food and you just sit there and you're just like, it's like you've been transported to another realm. It's just incredible because we'll take you and we'll show you. Uh, you can obviously see I'm very passionate about it, and George is extremely. He'll talk in a sec about it. That's Athens. George, do you want to speak about Athens before I get into the other areas of the trip?
No, I think that's about it. All I want to say about Athens. Can I talk now about the diving?
Yeah, George, I've got the schedule in front of me. So do you want me to go through that? You've
No,
got.
can I go through it because
Oh, have you got the schedule? Do
I
you
need
want
to
it?
pronounce the sites in Greek, yeah?
All right, I'm going to say
No, don't.
Anviosos.
No, don't.
All
So
right.
have you heard of the Temple of Poseidon?
Oh, it's beautiful.
So we're going to take you to the Temple of Poseidon. So not only are we going to go to the top of the temple, and
Yeah.
we're going to go there at night, at dusk. Beautiful, absolutely great for photographs. I've got photographs of me when I was a 12-year-old kid up there, and still brings a lot of warmth to me. And even Sharon and I just took some photos there recently. But we're going to go diving in the it's in Greek, it's called Sunyo, not Poseidon, it's called Sunyo. So we've latched into
Yeah.
a group of archaeologists, and the Greeks are very tight about letting people dive archaeological sites. So we've got some inside information, we've got permissions, and we're going to be diving some pretty incredible places.
Alonisos?
Yeah, I'm not aware of any other dive group anywhere doing what we do or are going to do on this
No,
dive.
there's no other dive group that I've come
No.
across. Alonisos is what they call the Athens Riviera. It's absolutely stunning. So you've got the main area of Athens, and then we're going to move out of there and go further up. I don't know, towards the water, you're turning left. And we're going to be staying up there on the Riviera. What they've got, that's on the Aegean Sea. They have archaeological underwater museums there, and they have some pretty spectacular diving. I forgot about Sunio George,
Yeah.
so I missed that. So the Peristera wreck.
Yep. So listen, we're going to see wrecks. We're going to see sunken cities. Yeah. We're going to do a cave dive, and that'll be down to 25 meters. So there's something for everyone. Yeah, the snorkelers, you're going to get to see a lot from the surface. So the snorkelers, you'll have your own program as well. Yeah.
You'll be the same thing. You'll be able to snorkel dive on the same spots. And that's what we try and do. We try and keep our group together with the snorkelers and the divers because there's a little bit of bonding that goes on. Norman and Tracy, you've been on the reef encounter. You can see how crazy we get up there and the people that you've met. But after the around Athens and around that coast, we're going to go to Alonissos. Okay. Okay, Alonissos is an island and it's further up north. It's probably about an hour and a half on the bus, on the coach to get there. And this is going to be your first island. And this is a brand new archaeological underwater museum that's opened up in Greece.
Yeah,
so that's a really exciting place.
Especially it was opened up for Gold Coast Dive Snorkel for me, actually. Sharon,
Yes, George.
I just want to talk about the beaches. So in Greece, whenever you go to an island, it's all about the beach. And the beaches may be sand, they may be rocks. And but the water is absolutely stunning and amazing. Yeah.
It's incredible.
And, not a lot of fish to see. You're not going to see any marine life in there, but it's extremely refreshing.
Oh, you see a few little fish, George.
Little tiny fish. So when you finish your diving for the day, you're going to go and find yourself a taverna that's near a beach.
On a beach.
What Sharon and I did is we'd set up a camp at a restaurant. We'd buy lunch there. We'd leave our stuff with the owners. We'd keep our table open. We'd go for a swim, come back, have another snack, and you just spend the whole day lubricating, eating, sleeping, swimming. Yeah. So
it's incredible. It's incredible. After that part of Athens, we're going to take you to Paros. It's an island.
Yep.
We're trying to keep the islands local to Athens. We're going to do down days. Look, there are commercial islands there like Santorini, Mykonos. Not a lot of diving, quite expensive. So, if you want a down day to island hop, because it's very easy to go from Paros to Mykonos, and we can do that.
But there'll be options, okay? Because
we'll have options. Yeah. I'm not sure about doing an open day in between there to nick over to one of the commercial islands. I'm not too fussed about the commercial islands myself. And then we're going to go to Naxos, which is a beautiful island, and that's a down day. And then go back to Paros, back to Athens, and then we're going to have another day in Athens. And we're going to, because once you go to the Acropolis and to the markets, you tell me if you don't want to go back there again. I would be very, very, very surprised. Yeah, so, we're doing that. We're working on that, costing it in, and we've got a constituent on the ground over there who is another person that's come very highly recommended. We spent quite a lot of time with them when we were in Greece, and they're putting this together for us and helping us with this, and fabulous business over there. George is able to speak the Greek, but everybody in Greece speaks English, don't they, George? All the young people.
Yeah. All right, Sharon. So when are you going to announce the dates, times, costs?
I hope in the next probably 3 weeks.
Okay. All right. Cool.
To Greece, we've got a lot of people asking us for it. An incredible amount of people that are contacting us. So they want to go because I've lived there, and George speaks the Greek, and he's been over so much in his life, and he is a very, very Greek man. So so it's an exciting trip. It's probably something we wouldn't put on every year unless we get requests for it. So it'd be subject to interest, that trip.
Yeah, my family's well known over there. Last time I was leaving Greece, when I was heading out of immigration, the guy he swiped my passport and he said, was your father's name Nick? And I go, yeah. He says, you need to get the hell out of this country because there was so much trouble caused by him. I probably need to arrest him.
So Greece, Greece is probably be a definite for this year.
Okay.
I'm costing it in. I'm liking what's coming back. to make it cost efficient. So what's happening is a lot of people that are going are saying, when are we going? Okay, to everybody out there, it's going to be probably late September. That's because of weather, holidays, and it's more cost efficient. I'm not going to take you high season because you're going to double the price of your trip. So we're not going to do that. And that's how George and myself work all our trips out of season. So I'll have that up. I'm working that. I've been emailing Greece this week, and I'll get that one up. The other trip that we've just secured is, of course, again, I call it the signature trip. When we go on it, it feels like putting a pair of slippers on, and that's the Reef Encounter. And George and myself have been on, I think, most of the liverboards up there. George?
We've visited every liverboard in Cairns, yeah, and we've actually trialed them,
Yeah.
inspected them wall to wall, and we keep coming back to the Reef Encounter. So, yeah.
Yeah, so the Reef Encounter, the configuration of the actual boat, the lounge area, the dining area, the deck where you just go off, and the rooms are really quite spacious compared to the en-suites in the room, compared to other liverboards. So we've weighed it all up in the balance. They have a nicely stocked bar there. They're very welcoming. They're going to look after us this year with a great chef, and
There's en suites in every room, which is pretty amazing. Some of the liverboards we visited in Cairns, yeah, didn't meet that standard. So we're back.
Last year we did the Reef Encounter. We made it all inclusive. So that included your airfare and all your meals. It'll be the same this year, except on the last night, I found it a little bit restrictive, but people may wanted to go and eat somewhere else. We don't like to regiment people on our trips. We like you to feel like you've got your own choice because you just want to go and do your own thing. Some people want to go on a crocodile farm tour, or they want to do something else. So it's really important that we let you sort of, have that time, that downtime. You're going to have a downtime on the last day. So on the Friday, we fly into Cairns. We arrive at the hotel about lunchtime. And hopefully we can check in. If we can't check in, we just go to the pool. They hold our luggage. Keep your bathers out of your suitcase, and we go to the pool and order something to eat or have a drink. Usually, you've eaten at the airport or on the plane or done something, in your lunch is sort of not on the agenda. Then at night we go up to a local haunt, and I put a dinner on for you and platters, and we have a bit of fun and just sort of get to know each other, because there's a lot of new people that come on the Reef Encounter, and there's 36 souls or 38 souls that'll be going with us, and we like you all to sort of get to know each other, and we introduce you, and we know a lot of people and your common interests and who you are, and we like to sort of mix it up and yeah, people
What if you're
running together. There's a bit of unity involved.
What if you're a solo traveler and you're sort of a bit apprehensive as to who am I going to be with? Can I share a room? Will they be nice people? Will they snore? Did I say that? Will they snore? What can I expect, Sharon? How do you deal with all that?
I had that conversation today with somebody, like what they wanted, who they wanted to share a room with, and what their expectations were. And so, there's a lot to consider when you're buddying people up and doing rooms and whatnot. People with long legs on planes and all sorts of things. So, that's the Reef Encounter. So we get on the boat. You've got breakfast that morning. We all meet in the foyer. It's about a 10-minute walk from the hotel. So I don't usually get a shuttle, but I pop all the luggage into mini cabs. He's Dingo. Yeah, Dingo will be there. I was talking to him the other day. Do you know what Dingo does? Dingo is Dave Udinga. Tracy met him last year. Dave is an old mate of ours. We've known him. How long many years, George? 12, 13 years? Yeah.
Yeah, over 10 years.
And so what Dingo does, David Udinga, is he just books on it before I get on there, and he just lobs into my dinners and and meals, and He's my tag along, so yeah, he'll always be there.
Catherine,
I get on the boat, and he's Sharon because he's always on there one day before.
just for the record, Catherine, he was supposed to take us to the clam farm, yeah, and we went around a rock and we got back to the boat within about 3 minutes. And I said, "Where's the clams?" Can I just talk about some of the underwater experiences,
Yeah,
Sharon?
but Dave Hugh is really good at sort of bringing unity
Yeah,
into
you
the whole.
did.
And he spreads his personality out so far that he just brings so much unity into the whole trip, and that's really important for George and myself. That everybody feels a part of the trip, and there's unity inside that trip, and you're ironing out all the little things in the background, and no one needs to know about it. And Dave's real good for that. Yeah, do you want to talk about the diving on the reef
Yeah,
encounter?
so basically, we only do a couple of dives at every reef, and we keep moving through a collection of about 4 different reefs. There's probably about 6 or 8, but during the trip, we'll probably visit 4 reefs. They do a proper briefing, and there's something special at every site. Now, just remember the boat's anchored in about 10 meters of water, and directly you're in sort of like a reef, and there's a half moon reef. Boat's anchored there. You go down 10 meters, you go across, and they give you directions, and there'll be a clam garden, there'll be bommies with a big bump head rouse,
Cheeky Charlie.
Tiggy Charlie. There's so
He
many
scared the
exciting
crap out
things
of
to
me,
see.
that fish.
Yeah. And so I've had some bucket list moments on this trip. The night dives, I'm not a fan of night dives, right? You, Catherine Taylor, you asked me to take you to the Seaway on a night dive. I won't go. I've only done it twice. Not a fan, but I have fear of missing out when we go diving at the Great Barrier Reef, because when at night time, the boat's all lit up. Um, they've got a 10-meter depth rule. The dives are only 30 meters for the night dives, 30 minutes. And when you go down, you're quite safe because it's illuminated, and you just paddle into the reef a bit. And I lie down on my tummy, and I've got my camera there, and I pick a path that's like a super highway of GTs, reef sharks. What else, Catherine? All those incredible animals zipping past, cod, gropers, and incredible footage, incredible experience. And then you head back up to the boat, and what a beautiful night dive experience. So,
The reef encounter is just an amazing,
yeah,
amazing experience. How many times have you been on it, George? Every year? How many years?
it's been about 4 years, and probably done about six times.
Because when we put the reef encounter up, it absolutely sells out pretty quick. Um, from Bruce Tweed to everybody. Hi, is that Bruce Redforn? Is he?
Snorkelers, yes, Bruce.
Yeah.
Well, Kerry, you were on it last year, weren't you? Yep, and the snorkeling experience. So basically, the snorkelers, you just paddle out, 5 or 10 arm kicks, and the reef's there in front of you. You can duck dive, but you're going to see most of the good stuff at the surface. It's quite safe. There's a surface watch. They're watching every soul.
Oh my God, they're amazing.
They're counting. You're not allowed to talk to the surface watch person. They actually get cross with you, and they're watching every snorkeler. If you're not a good swimmer, or if you need help, they'll give you a noodle or a life jacket.
Or a guide. If it's choppy, they give you a guide to
Yeah,
take you out. As a snorkeler last year, we had a little bit of choppiness. It was still an incredible experience. And we had a guide. That's part
yeah.
of the deal, that you don't pay extra for that. You can go on marine biologist tours. We'll charge for that. Like when I was on there, the first time I ever went on the reef encounter, I just
Good
went
done.
down and it was the first time I went snorkeling, and I went down near the boat, and this big red like groper fish came up to me, and it was chasing me, and it was pulling at my skirt on my bathers, and I'm going, oh my God, what is this? Fish is trying to eat me. And then I looked up, and all the staff were there, and they were just laughing, and they're yelling out, "That's Cheeky Charlie. Um, he just wants to be close to you. He won't hurt you. He'll try to have a little nip, but he won't hurt you." So it's amazing. You look over the side of the boat at night, and wow, what you see on the side of the boat, the fish and what are they, little baby sharks, George? And
They're remoras swimming around, skating across the dive deck. Catherine, the night dive.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
The sharks and for the snorkelers, the sharks and the GTs, giant trevally, and the coming up for the fish. That's incredible. So yeah, they definitely don't miss out at night. That's for sure.
It's beautiful. And look, I use their gear. I even use their eggs. I only take a mask and snorkel. Yep.
And fins.
And I take my fins. Yeah, because I've got a big foot. And one year they gave me a size 11 and a size 12. And I was actually going around in circles. So
that's because you went late and you got the dregs.
Is that your excuse? Because Kerry reckons you took around in circles.
You reckon Dave and George are good guides, Catherine?
Oh yeah, awesome. And it's good to have that choice of they'll usually go in opposite directions.
Yeah.
And the clam garden.
The clam garden is quite an experience. And because when I was a kid, did you watch Sea Hunt when you were a kid? And there's all these divers in the water, and someone's leg would go in a clam, and they're all trying to get the leg out of the clam. Just incredible shit. So
under the water's amazing, but what's really good about the reef encounter is above the water's really cool.
Yeah.
And just the way the boat's laid out, just coming in and lounging around, and the guitars are sitting there, and people play guitar, and we have a sing song at night, and there's a chef on board, and the meals are usually pretty good, and there's the bar there. You can have a nice wine or a drink at night, and
look, they're
it's
great.
good. It's good. It's a really nice vibe on the reef encounter. And when we go back, we're going to do the same thing on the last night. On the last night, we're going to go somewhere and say, we're meeting here for a drink. We're going to shout you all a drink. And then we're not going to shout you dinner on the last night. We did last year. This year we're not, because we feel like we're restricting you too much with having to dine at that particular restaurant. So on the last night, you've done your bonding on the reef encounter. You've made your pals. Hey, Kerry's made lots of friends because she's just loves making lots of friends. And you might want to nick off with your little core group and go off somewhere. We'll say, hey, we're going here for dinner. If you want to come, tag along. It's the last night, and we're having a hoot and a holler, and it's I love the last night because we're talking about our experiences, and we've made friendships, and there's a lot of unity between us all, and I love the last night. And
we've actually had a few relationships blossom in our group, Sharon.
We have. We've actually had marriages blossom in our group too.
Yeah. And anyway, that's another story. All right, Sharon, when can people expect to see the details? How can they book?
Well, there's another trip that I'm looking at too that I just realised I forgot to mention.
Oh, no, you haven't answered the question. When can everyone get the details for Reef?
I reckon I've got my graphic artist onto the brochure and everything at the moment. I'm just looking at a couple of little things. So I reckon I'll have it up within a week.
Okay.
After the meet and greet, probably, I'll have it up. The other place I'm looking at the moment, and I've got a person on the ground over there that lives over there, and that comes highly recommended. I've got George has got some pretty great connections that he's had for 12, 15 years in the dive industry. Sorry, not the dive industry, in the corporate world. And since he's been diving, they've sort of meshed up a little bit, and we've been able to ask some of the of George's contacts. What about this place? Where do we go? Like when we did Bali, this guy said, only use this dive operator. Do not use any other dive operator in Bali. Please, just check it out, because that's when you go to Bali or some of these countries, that's the difference is night and day with the dive operator. So George and myself like to go somewhere first to test it out, which is called a famil, or like we just nicked off somewhere recently. We didn't really advertise it, and we went on some liverboards, and for the group, and we flew somewhere and we had that experience. So we like to do that. We do have a contact that we can trust, and he's just put me onto someone, and he lives over in, oh, that's Greece. No, he doesn't live there. Where's the other place that I'm looking at is, okay, what is it called, George? I've lost my page. Here it is. Okinawa in Japan. And I'm really doing a lot of research on Okiwana in Japan. Some people go, oh, I don't want to go to Japan. But man, the more I'm researching this place, the more exciting I'm excited I'm getting about it. And Okiwana's down the bottom. It's like the foot of Japan, and it nearly touches Taiwan. And it's just an incredible place. It was owned by the US, and it was handed back over to Japan in 18, I think I'd have to look that up. Don't quote me on that, but it's been handed back over to Japan. So I think it's an area where there was a military base there, and there is called the American town. You go there, they say it's the Japanese Hawaii, though it's not all like that. But that part of it. Has anybody been to this area? Has anybody been to Okinawa? Tracy? No? Norm? No.
Been to
And
Japan, but not down there.
sorry?
Been to Japan, but
But
not down
not down there. Yeah. Yeah. So we're getting a big rap on it at the moment. Pricing's looking good, but I'm trying to keep these trips as cost efficient as possible so everybody can come along. We've got a lot of different people and a lot of different economic situations in their life, and we just want to try and price these trips on so that everybody can sort of have a go at least one trip a year or whatever if they want to travel with us. Um, it offers castles, old military bases, World Heritage sites. The food, the atmosphere is incredible. Apparently, the diving's incredible. They have the American Village. It's a fun Japanese replica of American culture village that's really popular. Art museums, castles, all sorts of things over there. It's just, you can't get your head around it. There is so much diving over there. They call it the Mecca diving and snorkeling spot of Japan, this particular region that we want to take you to. Tsunaba Seawall, Cape Manzamo, Honor Point, Kurama Islands, the Toilet Bowl. Sounds very interesting, doesn't it? Apparently, it's an amazing dive spot filled with turtles, corals, sharks. It's a horseshoe shaped, and that's where the site gets its name from the frequent surge that flushes in and out to enter and exit that area. So I'm doing a lot of research on this area at the moment because I need to get Hollywood under the sea for you, and I want to get the cultural experience on the land for you too. When George and myself take you on a trip, it's not just about diving and snorkeling. If you're going to spend that money, we want you to experience the country. Even if it's Cairns, we want you to experience Cairns too. But if we're going to take you to Japan, we want you to experience Japan. You've got your nights there. We're not going to say, hey, see you later. We're going to research it and have a look. George and I would go to both. Okay, cool. And yeah, so that's all. Georgie Porgy, are you there? Oh, you better edit that. George, are you there? Yep. Yeah, so have you got anything to say on that trip? I'm actually quite excited about that trip.
No,
I get a gut feeling on trips, and I sort of follow it through, and I read about it and ring and talk and ring tourist bureaus and get the down low and the political climate and all sort of things that's going on for you, and airline carriers are really important to have faith in and things like that when you're traveling. Otherwise, it can get costly. Is there anything you want to say, George,
no, it's
about
fabulous.
Okinawa?
I'm very excited about Japan. So,
Yeah, I am too.
yeah.
So that might be a go-to next year. I think I've got enough on this year with these trips. The
Yep.
group's growing. The group's growing a lot, George, isn't it? We've got so many new people coming on board. I think we've got 40, 50 people a week joining us at the moment on Gold Coast Dive and Snorkel. George wanted to mention something about the Seaway chat group.
Seaway chat group. So the Seaway chat group, it's Seaway conditions report, and we got a lot of visitors coming in wanting to know what the visibility is, and we just, we're sort of guarded quite a lot. We get people wanting to, hey, I want to snorkel on my own, I want to dive my own, and we're going, no, we don't want you doing that on your own. What's the visibility? And we're going, do I have to do it? Scroll back 2 messages and you'll see what the viz is. We get continually people posting on the main page, what's the viz? Some of them don't know, so we direct them to the Seaway chat group.
Always. Yeah.
Spearfishing. Now listen, Sharon and I are fans of spearfishing, so we'll shut down any conversations on spearfishing. Someone posted a video, I think it was yesterday, and I just realised there was a leopard shark there and their spear gun was there in front of them. That freaked me out. We need to pull that one down, Sharon. And it's a full-time job,
George.
managing everything, yeah. Sharon,
Remember to do it.
anything else? I think it's getting a bit late for everyone. And is there anything?
Just on the chat group, look, I'm going to keep saying when I see it, we only endorse people to dive and snorkel as buddies, not solo. Because when you have a group page like Facebook and we've got about 7,000 members across two pages, you are actually legally liable. You've got a liability to the people in the group and the advice that they're getting on those chats. So yeah, George and myself do come in a little bit and we take comments down or we say something, for those that aren't on tonight. It's just because it's safety first, and there's a heck of a lot of new people that come into our group and they get really excited. They get on our chats and they're not experienced snorkelers and divers often, and we're sort of looking out for them. So that's we're always on. We're always looking inside our community, and we're looking for the safety aspects as well.
Sure.
Yeah. George is safety first. He's a lot tougher on it than I am because he's more experienced. Hey, Georgie.
Yep, correct. All right, Sharon, anything else before we
No,
wind
I
it?
don't think so. Oh, yes, there's one more thing. So the other thing, anyone that's going to watch this video, anyone that's watching this, what I want to ask you is, if you've traveled somewhere, Catherine Taylor, every time I look at you, you've got a neon sign going off Fiji. And so if anybody has traveled anywhere that you want to come to me and you say, hey, Sharon, I've been here. I think it's going to be cost efficient if you look at it. I wouldn't mind looking, do you want to look at a trip? You don't have to come on the trip. But if you've got something that you want to share with me about where you want to go in the world, because our motto is, come on, let's go and play on the beaches of the world. And so if you've got anywhere that you want me to research, I'll go and do my due diligence on that, and I'll call and do some costings. Someone suggested somewhere recently, I think it was Cook Islands or somewhere like that. When I went in there and I did the costings, it was pretty expensive. And when I do cost, I don't go in at one particular time of year. Man, I'm Googling and I'm trying to find the best time for the weather, viz, price, holidays aren't in the equation. So there's a lot of things. So often I'll just find a window of a month where I'll pick so I can swoop in and get a trip in there so it's cost effective for everybody. So please, if you've got any suggestions, can you please PM me or pull me aside or call me? PM me for my number and we'll chatting on the phone. I'd love to have a chin wag with you. And we're here to take you on your journeys, what you want to see as well.
Okay. Is there any questions before we wind it up for this evening?
Wait, when are you coming to buy me lunch, George?
Sydney.
I've got quite a few gigs down there.
We were going to buy you dinner actually because we were going to come down through Sydney at Chrissy.
I was in Sydney 2 weeks ago working for Mercedes Trucks. So I didn't want to bother you, mate. Yeah?
Yeah, no worries. So it's my shout.
Yeah, okay. All right. They got
So if anybody wants to know what that G-man is up there on the thing, George, if you Google him, it comes up, the corporate G-man. He'll come in and G up your sales team. And you'll see a little stick figure there on a rocket, and that's a cartoon character. It's one of George's books he wrote. So, yeah, he's a corporate G-man.
All right, no further questions, folks?
George will probably...
Yes, I will.
Scrap that bit of information out of the
Is
video.
there any other questions? Anyway, you can PM us anytime. And thanks very much, folks, for supporting us, and look
Yeah.
forward to another amazing travel year.
It's just
Cool.
going to grow and
Thanks.
more trips, and it's going to be amazing. And
has.
actually, we look forward to traveling with you. I'm excited. I think Tracy and Norma are interested again on the Reef Encounter. There's a lot of people
Yes.
that went on last year are coming this year. There's a lot of
People
people.
that have done it 3 times. 3 times. Yeah.
Which
All
it's
right,
just
folks.
sick. It's sick. It's a sick addiction. It's a great life.
Thanks, guys.
Good evening, everybody.
See
Bye-bye.
ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Great seeing you
Bye.
all.
Bye.